This is your sign to leave your hometown. You need to move away. You need to move out. You just need to get up and go. My name is Malika, and I honestly feel like I'm a pro at moving at this point. I grew up in Haiti. I lived in Haiti up until I was 10 years old. And in 2010, we had a very, very big earthquake happen. It literally changed the whole course of the country. And I ended up having to move to the United States. And that really started my new life. And I feel like because I moved so young, and so suddenly, I really had to adjust and adapt to a new environment. So now I'm really a pro. Like, I had taken a strengths test when I was in college, and adaptability is one of my strengths. Mind you, this was in like 2018, but it usually doesn't change too much. So I'm very good at adapting. In 2022, I decided I couldn't live in Massachusetts anymore. I had had enough. I was so miserable. Y'all wouldn't understand. I was so miserable. I hated my job. I hated my living situation. Dating was not good. I just needed to leave Massachusetts. I needed to experience something new. I needed to experience something different, and I just had to go. So me and my best friend, we decided to move to Houston, and that started my journey moving out by myself for the first time. Now, if you would like to move out, move away, move abroad, you need to be prepared. I'm gonna take you through my steps that I did, or I wish I had done, in order to facilitate the moving process, because I moved from Massachusetts to Texas. First of all, you're gonna have to get your money right, okay? Make sure that bank account has at least 5 digits. Well, no. Well, depending on where you move and whether you have a job lined up, always make sure you have enough money to support yourself if for some reason something happens, or make sure you can get a job like that. Now me, I had some money saved up, because luckily when I lived in Massachusetts, I lived with my parents. I didn't have to pay rent. All my bills were my car and like credit cards when I went out to eat, when I went to the club. So I saved a good amount of money from when I was working, because I was also working full-time because I had graduated from college. If you don't have money saved up, make sure you have a job. Make sure you have somebody who can co-sign a lease for you, or make sure you have your housing arrangements. Just be prepared. Make sure you have a backup plan if for some reason something does not work out. Luckily, if anything went wrong, I could always come back to Massachusetts, stay with my family like I had been doing, have a place to live, not be on the street. I could always go back to the job that I was working or find another job. Have a backup plan, have money saved up, and just be ready for the unexpected. When I moved to Houston, I didn't visit Houston before. And that is the one thing that I really regret, because if I had gone to visit Houston before, I would have known that I wouldn't have liked it and I wouldn't have moved there. Between the time that I decided to move to Houston and the time that I actually moved, there was no time for me to go and visit, because it wouldn't have been worth it time-wise and money-wise. Now, if I had gone to visit before, it definitely would have made a big difference, but everything happened for me as it should have. So definitely visit the state, the country, the city that you want to move to before you move there. That is like my big one. You just never know what a place is going to be like if you don't see it and experience it in real time. And I had done my research. Like, I was looking up YouTube, living in Houston, TikTok, living in Houston, Google, best cities to live in for a Black woman in their mid-20s. I knew Houston wasn't a right fit for me, but I was just very desperate to get out, and it had checked a lot of boxes on my list. even though I had known it wasn't gonna be a right fit for me, it was affordable, hot, black people, all this, all that. It checked a lot of boxes. So I was like, you know what, let me try it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's 50 other states or 49 other states. Visit the place though. Definitely visit where you're wanting to move to beforehand. On the topic of visiting, also make sure you tour apartments. If you're buying a house, make sure you tour houses. Or if you're gonna live with family or friends, try to get a feel for what your housing space is going to look like, what you're gonna need, all of that. But definitely get your housing situation all squared away. And I feel like people always ask me like, oh, where did you find an apartment in Houston for less than $1,000? And I'm like, bro, apartments.com. Houston is full of affordable apartments. Now, you are gonna be living with roaches, you are gonna be living with bugs, your car might get broken into, but you pay for what you get what you pay for. Y'all, my biggest mistake was not having a job secured when I moved to Houston. And to this day, I'm like, I should have just taken something. But I didn't start working until over 3 weeks. That was a restaurant job, working as a hostess, making like $2 an hour basically. That's what it felt like. That definitely set me back financially, because even though I had my savings, I also had more expenses and I wasn't making enough to support myself. Just make sure you know what your situation looks like. Make sure you are prepared. Have a job. And I know how hard it is to get a job in this economy. Like, I literally applied to 1 million jobs, y'all. Like, I'm not even kidding. In all industries as well. I literally applied to work at schools, universities, corporate jobs, like every single thing. I have a bachelor's degree in Houston. Like, why was I not getting anything? Make sure you get that job secured before you move. That is my biggest piece of advice. I hated Houston so much, I had to leave. I live in Baltimore now and I love it much more. And when I moved to Baltimore, I visited, I had a job lined up, and I tried to make some friends before I moved. So try to make some friends before. I've used Bumble BFFs. There's a bunch of groups on Facebook that you could join. Try to make some friends. When I came to visit Baltimore for the first time to go apartment hunting, I downloaded Bumble BFF. I was like, hey, like, I'm moving here in a month. I need some friends. And I ended up going out with a girl, and like, we're very good friends now, I would say. Just be prepared, have fun, take the risk, because you're not gonna experience life if you're scared. You're not gonna grow if you're scared. And I was definitely scared. Like, I had never lived apart from my family before, 1,000 miles away. Mind you, I got very homesick when I was in college, an hour away. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. Everybody had doubts. People thought that I was gonna move back home. My brother and my dad was like, oh, you're not gonna survive. I did it, and now I'm in a whole nother state, still haven't moved back to Massachusetts. So it is gonna be a risk. It is gonna be very scary. There are gonna be some challenges, culture shocks, everything, but you're gonna be a better person because of it. Take it from me, I'm telling you, like, I am the product of moving away. Like, I would have never done the things that I've done. I would have never experienced life. I would have never experienced peacefulness if I hadn't moved away. I would have never experienced growth if I hadn't moved away. I can only talk so much. Y'all sometimes just have to get up and go. And I hope y'all take my advice. I love this quote a lot. It may not work out, but seeing if it does will be the greatest adventure ever. And even if it's not, it's still an adventure, and you can still say you tried. If y'all have any questions for me, please comment them down below. If you ended up moving away from home, let me know where you grew up, and where you ended up moving to, or where you want to move to if you're thinking about moving. I have a bunch of videos on my moves and why I left Houston. Make sure to check out my channel. I post a lot of different stuff. Definitely comment down below if you have any questions. If you want to see some more video ideas related to moving, I could definitely do that as well. Take the risk. Take the risk, because comfort is the enemy of growth, and you will never grow if you're comfortable.